And actually, Derek Hanson for Josh. He will certainly will be joining us throughout the football season, and we'll get you ready. It's just hard to believe we're a week away from everything getting going here for this 2025 campaign, and actually a lot of games starting this week, as we know, and a lot of FCS versus FBS matchups coming up today. And part of the reason I like to kick off the season of this is I had a chance to catch up with everyone at Media Day, and it's college football is underway. We got Iowa State taking on Kansas State, who NDSU's rival UND is going to be facing coming up a week from today, actually. And that'll be on KFGR, our sister station. And so we'll see how Kansas State, the opponent for UND, is going to face off against Iowa State today over in Dublin, Ireland. That starts at 11 a.m. this morning. So an interesting matchup there. A lot of FBS versus FCS games going on, including another one, Idaho State taking on UNLV today. That's something to kind of watch for. I know people get, kind of intrigued with this. Interesting that the Delaware State-Delaware game now is Delaware's made the jump to FBS, so that is an interesting game there. Central Arkansas is at Missouri coming up on Thursday. And I'm just kind of going through some of the big matchups that are going on, FCS versus FBS, that maybe it'll be a little intriguing to you. There's some are just kind of, regional and money games, but Western Illinois versus Illinois, we certainly think that's going to be a blowout coming up on Friday. Then next Saturday, a week from today, there's a lot of intriguing ones. South Dakota taking on Iowa State. We mentioned UND at Kansas State. Robert Morris is at West Virginia. And kind of going up and down the line here, and I'm probably missing a few, but it's certainly this first couple of weekends you get a lot of this. Idaho's at Washington State. That's like a bus ride. And Northern Arizona is at the Sun Devils of Arizona State. The following week, in week 2, on Friday, September 5th, Western Illinois, they got 2 FBS games. They're taking on Northwestern. So they go back-to-back, taking on Illinois and then Northwestern. Ouch. And then Eastern Washington's at Boise State, always interesting. Northwestern State's at the Gophers coming up on Saturday, September 6th, a week after the Thursday matchup. This Thursday as the Gophers open up against Buffalo. And just kind of going up and down the line, not too much really catching my eye. And I just kind of wonder if we're going to get to the point where are we going to have any more big, intriguing matchups. Now, Southern Illinois takes on Purdue here in a couple weeks. UC Davis is at Washington. That's kind of an interesting matchup. Northern Iowa's at Wyoming, and Northern Colorado at Colorado State. So first few weeks, there's a lot of these matchups, and will we see upsets, or will there be a few upsets that we are used to come to seeing over the years? We shall see. Later this season, the SEC, they kind of schedule some of these games later. The Citadel's at Ole Miss. The Citadel, obviously, the host team for the Bison, kicking off their season a week from today. It'll be here before you know it. We're going to hear from today my conversation with Bryce Lance, Walter Payton, the finalist, kind of on the watch list there for the preseason watch list for the Walter Payton Award. Also Cole Payton, who's going to be replacing Cam Miller this year at quarterback. Trent Frayley, his father is the offensive line coach for the Detroit Lions. Pretty good offensive line in the past few years there. And so the center for the Bison. Jaylen Duffie, the only underclass I've been talking to, but he's such a dynamic cornerback. Captain Logan Kopp, linebacker for the Bison, also Captain Jaxon Duttenhefer. That's all going to be on the plate today for you. So, yes, it's hard to believe. I hate to wish summer away. And you heard the little promo there for Potato Days going on. This is kind of being from my hometown of Barnsley, you kind of know that this might be the kind of the beginning of the end for summer. That is for sure. So that is what we have going on here. Do want to, again, thank our sponsors for bringing us Heard It Here to kick off this season. Peterman Seeds of Holly, Smith Motors, and Valley Imports. So that's what we got going on there. So, yeah, it's do want to appreciate all the big sponsors to Heard It Here. We also have Northwest Tire on this. So, we do want to thank all of them for bringing us all this show today. So if you want to give us a call here to talk about what's coming up, 237-3767. That's 237-3767. And we'll get you ready here. And as I mentioned, we'll get right to it with a guy who's just a class act. I always enjoy talking to this young man. I've really appreciated his time, and he's so precious with it. And no doubt the family. You think about everything, and his older brother Trey, what he's kind of gone through, and getting another shot here with the Chargers in the National Football League, and that is Bryce Lance. And Bryce Lance, well, he's not a quarterback, but he certainly is making a name for himself as a wide receiver in the world of the FCS. And here's my conversation with him, and I just just mentioned the fact that it wasn't all that long ago that it seemed like he was just that young buck coming in, and here he is. Now he is a senior captain.
Full circle moment for sure. It's crazy just looking at these freshmen. I feel like I was in their shoes just the other day, but I'm just super blessed to make it to this point, and I'm just trying to cherish every moment.
I'm sure. I mean, and with all the preseason accolades on the watch list for the Walter Payton, all that, and I think your brother, obviously, we know about his time here and now in the NFL, and your family very connected to this place. I mean, does it kind of prepare you for all this, just knowing what the goal is at hand, is to win another championship? Because I mean, he's kind of paved the way for you. You've been through this. You've seen it all here already, right?
Yeah, exactly what you said. I think it's not. I'm very humbled by those accolades, but it's not something that's like super shocking or a surprise to me. Not to sound cocky, but I think that at the end of the day, my goal is to keep becoming a better player, better leader, better teammate, all those things. So I'm just super excited to keep leading these young guys and see where they go in the future as well, and obviously keep producing with my teammates this year.
Do you feel like your life changed a little bit? I mean, you essentially were the Monday Night Football game, with the national championship game last year. And I'm sure your phone blew up after you had a great national championship game. Did it change a lot, or some of the remarkable catches you had in the playoffs as well on national TV?
Yeah, I wouldn't say my life changed, but I would say that, last year, just a year of me building confidence. I think coming into freshman year, I did not have, there was a lot of self-doubt, as a new freshman comes in. But I think, that last year kind of, it was really rewarding. It was really rewarding just seeing all, the hard work I've put in come into fruition.
You mentioned before, and you're coming into this senior leader now. I mean, is it weird to think about that? Because I'm sure you're green, and you're following your older brother here. I mean, and now you're the guy, right? Yeah. One of the guys.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like I said, it's a full circle moment. Time flies, but like I said, I'm so blessed to make it to this point. College football is hard. Whatever level, whatever team, whatever position you're playing, college football is a grind. So, yeah, I'm just super excited, to kind of pour into these young guys like I was poured into as well. I'm
sure you've been asked this a lot of times, and you don't have to get into details, but, I mean, in the world of college sports, we know it is. You stayed, and obviously your family's near and dear. I'm sure this place is near and dear to their heart. And just talk about that process. I mean, it's got to be special for you to stay here. I'm sure there's opportunities out there.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, there's opportunities, just like a lot of my teammates had as well. But my thought process is, I have my whole life to make money, but finishing out my senior year with, my brothers, my teammates, the people I came in with, is priceless, honestly. So I wouldn't be anywhere else in the world to play, finish my senior season. So I'm just super excited to get out there.
Well, and as you guys know, I mean, it's not like you're not putting people in the league here at NDSU, right? I mean, you can go to a kind of a mid-major group of five, and you're not going to get as much national TV exposure as you do here.
Yeah. I think even last night we proved that NDSU can, produce at the next level as well. So I'm super excited for a game too. That was super fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just talk about that. I mean, when you're seeing some of your brothers like that, it's got to be weird to watch on Sundays and go, I played with that guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that happens a lot, even in preseason. It's a lot of fun thinking about Mason and Detroit, and obviously Gray, the big accolades, first-round pick in Seattle. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Not to mention your brother on the Hall of Fame game. What a night for him. There's a pretty good lineage from here to the league right now.
Yeah, NDSU's all around the league right now. But yeah, I think, the funny thing is, everyone comes to the facility today and no one's surprised, no one's shocked, because we know, what these guys could do. We know what they've been through. We've been with them every step of the way. So, not surprising, but super cool, super fun to see those guys get their opportunity and show what they can do.
No, we can't get ahead of ourselves talking about what's going to happen to you next April and all those type of things, but because there's so much work done. And how hard is it? I mean, it had been very gratifying win the national championship. That team just a little bit south of here, they are on the king of the hill for a while. You're able to get that back with Coach Polasek, and now you got to repeat it. It's kind of hard to stay on top of the mountain too. Is that something that you're saying to a lot of the underclassmen too? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, I have all the faith in the world in this team and these guys, but of course, we always have a target on our back. I feel like, but that's also not unfamiliar territory for this group of guys, or Bison as a whole. I feel like every time someone plays the Bison, it's kind of a Super Bowl. So it's nothing we're not used to. Maybe the younger guys, but I think it elevates us. You keep playing at the next level to stay on top.
And it's the most cliche thing in sports, but one game at a time. It's got to be hard to do that, though, knowing what is going to come in December with the postseason and all that. But it is something you have to kind of do week by week.
For sure, yeah. I think something so special about us is that's exactly how we operate. We're week by week. We don't try to look ahead in the schedule. Every game is the only game we have that week, and it's the biggest game of the year. So that's what we like to say, and that's how we operate, and it's proven to be true.
My last thing for you, the goal, on the board you have, league championships, getting to certain points. And this would be the first year in a while. It's not talking about Frisco, but getting to the Music City would be a lot of fun. I think Nashville, getting to that spot would be a really cool goal. If there's anything about that, being the first team to do that in the FCS would be a lot of fun, right?
For sure, yeah. Never been to Nashville, so first of all, that would be cool to, visit there. We get to go there our second game, I believe, as well. But yeah, that would be a super cool opportunity as well. Obviously, that game is something, we're striving to get to. But like you said, it's one game at a time.
Well, good luck to you. Hopefully we're talking to you in January in Nashville. So good luck to you all season long. Pleasure to talk to you again. I'm sure we'll do it throughout the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bryce Lance, again, he is on the preseason Walter Payton Award watch list, and man, was he dynamic, certainly at the end of the year too, and on the biggest stage on all those playoff games on ESPN and the national championship game. He is a fun kid to watch. Can't wait to see him get at it this year for the Bison here in this 2025 season. And the guy who's going to be throwing it to him, and a lot of pressure on him, Cole Payton. Big shoes to fill with Cam Miller. Of course, missed the second half of the season with an injury, and I kind of brought that up to him. I'm sure he's heard it over and over again. How's your knee? How's your legs? How are you feeling? And that comes up over and over again. So I kind of softly brought that up to him. Okay, I'm not going to ask you. You look healthy. You're fine. So you're good to go. What's that like here in the offseason? I'm sure you've been asked about that quite a bit, right?
Yeah, no, rehab went really well. I'm good to go. I was able to participate in spring ball, and that's why. I got the surgery in late October, and so super excited. It obviously sucked at the time, but feeling great. Shout out to our, athletic training staff and Tricia Shannon and everyone just pouring back into me and helped me get back to 100%. So feeling good.
You mentioned anxious to get back. It is kind of I'm sure, surreal thing. Here it is. This is your time to shine, going into this, all these seniors coming in, and, you're the leader now. You're the guy. What's it like for you thinking about that?
It's like you said, it's pretty surreal, but this is what you work for. This is what I've got banked reps at. Getting to play behind Cam Miller for the last few years and learning from him and just soaking it all up. And he was a great leader and a great quarterback and a great person. And so just carrying that on and being myself. Being me and excited to show it. So.
Cam always thought had intangibles that you don't really see on a stat sheet, right? I think we even saw it in the the exhibition game with the Raiders. Do you pick up on things like that and try to bring it? Because it's a hard thing to really teach or put a number on. You know what I'm getting at? Just those intangible leader things that we talk about.
Yeah, I think those intangible things and those X factors per se. I think a lot of us here have it, and I think that just starts with. We're not only good athletes, but we're really good people too, and that's why NDSU is so amazing. It's about the people, it's about the culture, and I think those intangibles are what make us so good. So.
And it kind of carries down from generation to generation too, a little bit, right? Is that part of the pressure of playing here? Is not only you got a big fan base here all throughout the nation. They've seen all you guys on national TV, but obviously the alumni, they have a lot of pressure on you guys too. I'm sure everyone trades text messages too. You certainly don't want to disappoint them. I hear that a lot from Bison players.
Yeah, there's definitely some pressure, but pressure's a privilege. I think we talk about this difference between stress and pressure, and stress is when you're not prepared, and pressure is when you are prepared. And we're prepared. We put in the work, like I keep saying, we put in the work, and we're ready to go. And so pressure is a good thing. It's good to have success and then to sustain it. And so we want to carry that on and continue that legacy.
You obviously have a good wide receiver group. I mean, there's no question about that. Leads with Bryce, and it's got to be a lot of fun. I'm guessing the off-season reps has been pretty almost daily, right? Even when the coaches aren't around. So.
Yeah, I mean, those guys make our job easy, that's for sure. You know, their speed, their experience, their size. You know, you mentioned Bryce Lance. We got Rajah Nelson and Chris Harris and Mekhi Collins, Jackson Williams, John Gores. I mean, the list goes on, and even some young guys stepping up. And so super excited for that group. And like I said, they just make our job easy. It's super fun to throw them the ball.
Obviously, Bison football's being about balance, you know, and Marty goes to Miami. You all know, getting a big FBS opportunity there. But, you know, when you got Barika Panu and all these guys, I mean, it is going to be kind of rotation. Do you see a bell cow behind you handing off to, or is it going to be a little bit more by committee this year?
You know, I think, you know, Barika, it's Barika's time to shine. Obviously, we lost Marty, and Marty was a stud for us. But Barika's right there. I mean, I got to room with Barika our first year, and I love him like a brother. And he's putting the work, he's putting the time. He knows football. He's going to be a stud. We got OJ coming back, Owen Johnson, and then some young guys, you know, stepping up. And then, you know, who's impressed me is Miles Mitchell and DJ Scott from Kennesaw. DJ's a bruiser, and so, you know, they're all going to get opportunities. But yeah, I think Barika for sure has stepped up as a leader too, and so I'm excited for all those guys.
And people are kind of talking about Owen a little bit, right? I mean, he's kind of might be one of the guys that pops out of nowhere a little bit, maybe.
For sure. I mean, like I said, it seems like every room, every position room here at NDSU is so deep, and it just goes to show you again and again, you know, with a guy like Owen Johnson, obviously coming off a unfortunate injury a couple years ago, but he's back, and he's more than ready and capable, and a really good running back for us too.
Final thing for you, obviously, we all know the bookends that you are in the NFL right now that you lose, but when you got a guy like Trent Frayley to, you know, snap it to you, and you know, a leader like that coming in, probably feeling very comfortable now in his second year. What's that like for you? Is it easier than maybe to replace instead of reload, or, you know, I guess reload instead of, you know, doing all this rebuilding? Because that's kind of what's always been the mantra here at NDSU. So. Yeah,
no, having Trent at the center position is a blessing. He's a great athlete, a brother. You know, I was saying earlier, you know, Trent obviously transferred from Marshall, but it doesn't seem like he's a transfer. It feels like he's been here for a while. He embodies Bison pride, and so it's nice to have a guy like him, you know, leading those linemen.
Yeah, no question. Pretty good genealogy there, too. They know football for sure, with his father being an NFL player and offensive line coach for the Lions. Yeah. How anxious are you for it to get to the first game? I'm sure it's just, I mean, being out since October, as you said, it's got to be chomping at the bit right now, getting through August here. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Super excited, you know, starving for that opportunity to compete, you know, on a Saturday. But right now we just got to keep the main thing, and we got to, you know, win every single day, and that's at practice. That's every single rep. You know, keep pushing forward and competing and improving every single day here at practice throughout fall camp.
And finally, quietly, are you kind of anxious to show off your arm a little bit? I mean, you've been known to be kind of the go get those grinding yards off with your feet, but I'm sure you're anxious to throw it a little bit, right?
For sure, yeah. I've always been, you know, the numbers always been about my legs, and so excited to, you know, play a little bit more. You know, actually being a quarterback, and so no, super excited. Been putting in the work. You know, that's always been a focus of mine, is sharpening the mechanics, sharpening the accuracy, and all those things. And so super excited to get out there.
You bet, Cole. Thanks so much. Good luck this season. I'm sure we'll catch up with you down the road.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Bison quarterback Cole Payton again, big shoes to fill with replacing Cam Miller, and obviously Cole's played a lot of quarterback. As he just mentioned there, though, known kind of as that guy who's going to run the ball for him in key situations, certainly in short yardage situations, a nice little change of pace. Well, he's going to be the guy to take the snaps and throw the ball around, not just use his legs this year. And he's got some pretty good targets to do that with, Bryce Lance, and that really, really good wide receiver unit that they have there with the NDSU Bison, who start their season a week from today against the Citadel. When we come back, we mentioned Trent Frayley, His father, Hank, played in the NFL for about a decade, and he's the offensive line coach for the Lions, and he is quite a center coming in from Marshall last year, as we mentioned. We'll hear from him, and then we'll also hear from, on the opposite side of things, on the defensive line, another captain, Jaxon Duttenhefer. Yeah, he's a kid from Mandan, North Dakota, and has really been a force at the defensive line. So that's coming up for you. Heard it here with Swanny. Want to thank Smith Motors, also Northwest Tire, and always good to have them, along with Peterman Seats from Holly as our sponsors. I've heard it here with Swanny here on 740 The Fan. This is Heard It Here with Swanny, and it's, again, we want to thank Northwest Tire, Smith Motors of Wahpeton, and Peterman Seeds of Holly for bringing you Heard It Here with Swanny. Derek Hanson in for Josh Swanson on the first one, and big reason why is because I was able to get a lot of interviews on Bison Media Day. We'll play them back for you in case you haven't heard them. We'll hear from Jaxon Duttenhefer in just a little bit, defensive lineman. He's a captain, but this young man came in, and he helped out a very, very good offensive line, and obviously those bookend tackles both in the NFL right now with a Mason Miller and also Gray Zabel, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And just for people that don't know, his dad is the offensive line coach for the Detroit Lions and one of the better offensive lines in the NFL right now, Hank Frayley. But Trent Frayley coming in, Bison center, senior season, and boy, what a force he has been. So here's my conversation with him, and we'll follow that up with Jaxon Duttenhefer.
What's this start of fall camp like for you? Obviously, transferring in, everything was kind of new last year, but does it really feel like home now? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Bison Nation's great, you know. And as a team, we talk about Bison Pride. It's something that really is special that goes on with this team through this program. Just the hard work that everybody puts in. You become so close with everyone on the team.
You know, coming in from a college in West Virginia, did you know it gets us humid here? I mean, Fargo is known for snow and cold, but get a little sticky. I drove by here actually the other day watching you guys work out in really thick weather right before all the storms came. So you get a workout here in the humidity, don't you?
Yeah, you absolutely do. And you know, the first thing I was told whenever I came here was how cold it got. So I was looking forward to the summer, expecting it to be chill, not so hot. And then we came out and practiced yesterday and a couple of days before that, and it was something, that's for sure.
Yeah, it gets sticky, certainly. Like kind of like what Cole Payton probably experiences. Not as bad as Omaha in that area, which gets very humid as well. Just talk about this. Obviously, you know, the Bison have kind of been known for reloading, not rebuilding. You lose two bookend tackles. We all know about them very well. You feel like coming into this senior season that you have to be kind of the anchor? I mean, centers usually are one of the leaders of the offensive line anyway, but I'm sure you're really feeling that this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been good to be put in the position that we're at as a offensive unit, really. We have two guys who just haven't really got the opportunity to play because of who was in front of them. So, like you said, it's not like we're even rebuilding. We just have guys that their opportunity has now arisen. So I'm really looking forward to playing with them.
When you look at the season going into it, I mean, there's always pressure here at NDSU. Everyone expects you guys to win, you know, and win national championships. And I'm sure it was nice to be a part of a national championship team after you found out pretty early that rivalry with that team down south who was on top of the mountain, able to get by those guys. And it certainly meant a lot to Cam, too, you know, having all the troubles he had against. And so you had those two wins and then getting the national championship on national TV, which was almost kind of like Monday Night Football throughout the nation. What a year for you. And then what do you do mentally to, you know, kind of prepare for that and get ready?
I mean, yeah, it was a great season. I mean, yeah, one of the first things, we're coming in for lifts, and everyone's just like, yeah, we're lifting to, like, beat them, but to be the best version of North Dakota State that we can be. And everyone was, at that time, was talking about how it was BS that we didn't win the national championship last year. And, I mean, that's a great attitude and mindset to have for your program whenever not winning the national championship is not the standard. So I think really just carrying over into this season is going to be really important to just not get complacent and just to keep pushing it. And I'm not saying we are by any means. I mean, we're coming out here working hard at practice every single day. And I mean, it's been a grind, but it's been something really good to be a part of and just seeing how much everyone has grown since last year.
We all hear so much about Coach Kramer. You know, your father in the NFL as a player and now a coach. I mean, I'm sure it compares with anything else that you've seen and heard about it. I hear about this from people all over. It's second to none here as far as getting ready for a football season.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the best strength coach in the business. It was something really, really important on coming here. I mean, you hear all these stories about Coach Kramer, how tough he is, and it is true. He's tough. I mean, he's still tough to this day, and pushing everybody to be their best and making sure everyone is upholding the standard, because he comes in every day with the same mindset, same attitude, and making sure that everyone works.
Is it a little bit of it's kind of one of those things, he'll kick you in the butt but also pat you on the back too? I hear that a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, in some moments you may be frustrated and you may think like, oh, this sucks, but at the end of the day you finish it and you're like, wow, like that really made me who I am today.
I jokingly said when you walked up, I'm old enough to remember your dad playing, and it's kind of like when being a Vikings fan watching Antoine Winfield and then seeing his son go and play football for the Gophers now with Tampa Bay, and you are kind of a spitting image. I'm sure you hear a lot of that from your dad who played. Do you play like him too, from what you heard, or?
I'm not sure. We got to get the DVS player out and see some of his film, but I think I try to, just from the stories that I've heard about how he played.
Well, as a Vikings fan, I certainly respect what I've seen him as the offensive line coach and running backs coordinator run all over my team the past couple of years. That'd have been a fun thing for you guys. I mean, they did play on Sunday Night Football, then you play in the national championship game. That was quite a 48 hours for your family last year, right?
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And even within the team, I mean, a lot of Viking fans on the team. So it was fun to win that one, because I know if we didn't, I would have heard a lot from a lot of people, but it was nice for them to win so he could come down and watch the game.
So are you texting Mason? How's that going? I mean, it's got to be kind of a weird thing. Yeah, when one of your good friends on the offensive line now working under your dad now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a cool situation to be a part of. I mean, I'll text him and I'll be like, hey, how was practice today? And, he'll respond and whatnot. So it's really cool to be like, oh, sometimes I don't even realize, like, it's my dad coaching him. So, I mean, it's just a cool situation.
It gets to be a small world in football, though, doesn't it? I mean, you think about an FCS school like this, and like I said before, you're on, more or less Monday Night Football because there's no NFL games when you guys won the national championship game. I'm sure you heard from people all over the country watching many of those postseason games. Exposure you wouldn't really think at this level, but you certainly are there, and there's a lot of people going to the league right now from this program. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the best football programs to be a part of. I mean, even compared to FBS programs, even power conferences, the amount of people that go to the NFL from North Dakota State is just, I mean, it's an insane number. I mean, even the Lions preseason game against the Chargers with Trent Lance playing and then Mason. So it's just cool to see how many NDSU people and former players are in the NFL.
This place is buzzing about seeing what happened with the Raiders the other night, obviously. I mean, I think for so many people, it's got to be like watching one of your brothers go out there and on national TV throwing a touchdown. I mean, just talk about that with Cam Miller. I mean, that's got to be exciting for you guys. I mean, because people are talking about it all over here. So.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. I know I was only with him for a year, but seeing how hard he would work and how many hours he would put into the season is just really, really unique and good to see that it's paying off for him. I'm really happy for him. I know that he put in so much work and effort and everything he had into this program, and now I'm sure he's doing it for Las Vegas as well. So I'm happy that he got that touchdown last night.
A few weeks away, chomping at the bit to get there, I'm sure. It's going to be interesting to open up on the road, too, right? I mean, as far as against a team on the same level. I mean, obviously, FBS games going to Colorado, that was a different animal, but it's got to be a little bit of an interesting thing. And going on the road is your kind of brothers at arms and traveling together. You have to worry about all the outside noise like you do at home games here in Fargo, or?
I mean, I know we're just going down there to play a football game at the end of the day. I mean, it's what we are going to be doing for however many practices until that game comes. So I know we're all just looking forward to it and just taking it day by day from this point on.
Very good. Hey, congratulations on a great year last year coming in and winning a national championship. I know it made Bison fans happy, and we'll run into you down the road here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Derek Hanson here with defensive tackle Jaxon Duttenhefer with us, and new year coming in, new faces. Obviously, I mean, we always talk about bringing in new guys who've been kind of playing under some of the many seniors that you lost on the defensive line, and now you're kind of considered as one of the anchors, one of the leaders now. Is it kind of a surreal moment going into this fall camp? Or?
You know, it's kind of different because like time always flies, and like I just feel like it was just yesterday. It was like my first day here on campus, and man, it's like it's going to take so long to get up to be where, like, at the time it was Lane Tucker and Costner Ching, and like getting to be where those guys are. It's like, man, it's their last year and they've been through it for so much, and like they just seem like they got it all figured out. And no, I mean, like time really does fly. But the cool thing about this program is that it really does prepare you. I mean, those old guys pouring into me when I was just my first year is like, I feel like it kind of helped prepare me to be that leader for the young guys now. And I feel like being in that role is just really cool and just kind of a part of the program.
Speaking of that, does it make you important? I mean, because I remember going into certain situations, you're kind of green, you're nervous, you don't know where to go, and all that. You kind of want to take a lot of those guys under your wing in those situations, and you probably tell, too, who those guys are, because, like you said, it doesn't seem all that long ago. You were that young kind of greenhorn coming in. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that you learn from the older guys in the room, no matter who was the oldest guy in the room. I learned a lot from Eli and Will, and learned a lot from Lane and Costner, and I mean, just over the years, you take up a lot of things that you like seeing out of a leader, and just getting to apply those to the young guys, and then also just trying to make an emphasis on, like, what would I have wanted when I was a young guy and having an old guy in the room? Like, was that he's at, like, an early morning meeting that's optional for him, or is that maybe just sticking around for an extra 5 minutes after practice and talking about something, or, like, whatever it is, and just being able to apply that and learning from all the amazing stuff I learned from other leaders prior to me, but then also applying what would I have wanted when I was their age.
You think about Coach Olson, Grant Olson coming in, you kind of change a few things, not a lot. I mean, I think Bison defense has been pretty consistent for the past couple of decades. Just talk about that transition. You guys rotate a lot in, too, so you're never getting too gas. And things really kind of came together at the end, too. It had to be really rewarding to be a part of that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Coach Olson, I mean, when you want to talk about Bison pride and like that's probably number one right now on the team when it comes to coaching staff. Bison pride has to probably be G.O. But, I mean, it's they surround themselves, like who he surrounds himself with on his coaching staff. I mean, hiring back Coach Morgan in our room, I think was a big hire for us because, again, Bison history, he's been in the program. Coach Littlejohn, again, played in the program, knows what he's doing, has been here. Coach O'Jury on the offensive side of things, that was an amazing hire, I feel like, for the offense, too, because, again, you have guys that have played in this program, and they know so much about it and the intricacies of like, just Bison pride. I mean, it's always different for everyone, but I think that's kind of the thing that it comes down to is Bison pride, it just kind of boils down to trust, and I know that we all trust Coach Olson and what he has planned. Some of the changes he has, I feel like it just allows us to play a little bit faster, a little bit smoother, and just go out there and play free. And I mean, that is something that is awesome as a player. I know coaches appreciate it more, and I know we as players really appreciate it too. But I think also just surrounding yourself with that support staff that he has is awesome.
All those names you mentioned made me feel very old because it seems like yesterday, but they were players not too long ago. But hey, you as a kid from North Dakota, I'm sure those are names that you remember too. I mean, was it always kind of a dream here to maybe when you watch those games statewide to think that someday you'd put this uniform on and win a national championship? Or
I mean, for sure. I moved up to Mandan when I was a third grader. And so, like, I kind of from the state, kind of from around the area and the region, like, I moved from South Dakota, so it's not like I came from that far away. But coming up here, and it's like, wow, you got NDSU is kind of doing some things, and, like, it was 2011. Oh, cool, they won a national championship. It was really all over the news. And then it was like, oh, they won 2. Oh, they won 3 in a row. What's kind of going on here? And so I feel like when I was a kid, it was like, it's like every kid's dream. It's like, oh, you got to go FBS, big school, Oregon because they have all the cool uniforms, or Alabama because they're winning a lot too. But then it's like you look at it and it's like something's different about like NDSU because like you look at the green and gold, you see what they're doing, you're seeing all the things that they're accomplishing on the field. But then it's like you never hear a bad thing about them in the press. You never hear anything wrong with it. Like, and it's like you talk to your friends in the school playground, and it's like, yeah, NDSU, it's like so cool. And it's like I feel like from like 4th grade on, it was like, dang, I would love to go play here. And really, it is truly a dream come true.
Well, it is a unique situation. I say that all the time, and the fact that, I mean, I'm sure you hear from this from people all around the country and guys who are now in the NFL that you play with. I mean, you guys are getting national TV exposure that a lot of Group of 5 teams would like. I mean, between the playoffs and then I think having the FCS National Championship game on a Monday night when there's no NFL games, you were essentially Monday Night Football last year. It was crazy. I got more text messages from friends around the country on that than I had all year long. I mean, people are always hungry for football, and the first Monday Night Football not to have pro football, and the numbers showed it. I mean, that'd be quite a deal. I'm sure your phone blew up too.
I mean, yeah, like anytime you're kind of playing in a big game, I mean, all the texts I get from a lot of like coaches and a lot of my friends back home too, and like they're like, oh my gosh, I saw you get your sack against Shadur against Colorado, or hey, I saw your sack against Gronowski in the semis, or hey, congrats on the national championship. It's like it is really cool because like you see the support that you get from back home, no matter where you are, if you're in Boulder, Colorado, or Frisco, Texas. I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, my phone was exploding those days too, but I mean, I think overall it just shows the level of quality that FCS football really is. I mean, you can look at that from an NFL draft perspective, from undrafted free agents that guys are playing in the NFL going to the next level, and especially here from this program too. I mean, we got Gray, Cam that had an amazing night last night. Same with Jaylen, and it's like like, it just really shows that no matter what level of football you play at, if you're good enough, that they're going to find you. And it just really, truly shows the level of competition that we have at this level.
Did you feel like you got a little monkey off your back last year? I mean, after the team from down south was kind of on the king of the mountain, and I'm sure it was a big thing, because you hear from alumni and students and all that. It had to feel good, and then you have to build on that going this year, not take it for granted. It's got to be quite a thing as a leader to make sure that we focus on coming up here with the Citadel, right? I mean, it's the old cliche of one game at a time. It's very true.
Absolutely. I mean, our goal every week is to go 1-0, and I mean, for us, every opponent is a faceless opponent. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter if it's some Pee Wee team from back in Mandan or if it's the Atlanta Falcons. I have no idea. Like, it is a week in, week out season for us, and yeah, that's our goal, is to just go 1-0. Do some games maybe mean more after it? Maybe, but at the same time, it's like all we got to do is focus on ourselves, play hard, play fast, play together as a defense. For Big O, just go pound it in and go score. And I mean, from then on, it doesn't matter. As long as at the end of the game we're up at the end, that's all that really matters.
Jaxon, good luck this season. He'll be here before you know it. So, all right, good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, Jaxon Duttenhefer, the defensive lineman and he's a captain, just named the captain this week for the NDSU Bison here on Heard It Here with Swanny. Derek Hanson filling in for a week 0 here of Heard It Here with Swanny as college football is underway again. Big matchup that everyone's talking about, actually, is Kansas State taking on Iowa State. Big 12 matchup going on over in Dublin, Ireland. So what a way to kick off your conference, right? But that's what they're doing this Saturday morning. And then next week, a lot of stuff going on in the FCS. And obviously, one of the bigger stories is the fact that, UND is at Kansas State, who's playing today. And then NDSU, they are on the road to take on the Citadel to kick off this 2025 season. Do want to thank again our sponsors here. I've Heard It Here with Swanny, Northwest Tire, Peterman Seeds of Holly, and Smith Motors in Wapaton. When we come back, linebacker senior captain Logan Kopp, and also the only underclassman I talked to, but he is a dynamic young man, and that is Jaylen Duffie here on Heard It Here with Swanny. Derek Hanson filling in here.
So with Bison linebacker Logan Kopp, and I listened to you talk a little bit in the Missouri Valley Football Media Day, and it really hit me. It seems like just yesterday I was talking to you as a sophomore, and you're getting ready and really kind of making a name for yourself. How surreal is this to be thus, I guess, your first practices of the year? So.
It's crazy to think about. It seems just like yesterday, truly, whenever I stepped on campus at NDSU as a true freshman and blinked my eyes, and here I am in my 5th and final fall camp as a Bison. And it's exciting and it's sad. There's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings going into this final year, but overall we're super, super excited about what's to come this fall.
I've been talking to a lot of the seniors about, you finally get over the hump. You're able to knock off that team from down south, win the national championship, knock them off the hill. Now to stay on the hill. I mean, what's that like going into this fall camp?
We know that every team that we play is going to have us circled on their schedule. We know that there's a big target on our back, but that's what we like. We like to get everybody's best game. We like to have the focus on us. From our perspective, we got to stay humble. We got to keep from being complacent. That's what's going to get us beat. And so we have to remind ourselves that this 2025 NDSU team has yet to do anything, and we still have a lot to prove. And we haven't won a football game yet as this program, and so we're just looking to go 1-0 each week.
Obviously making plays, making huge plays, interceptions, fumble recoveries, stuff like that. You saw a lot of that, and there's some turnover, but it's kind of one of these things. The guys in front of you, there's a lot of new defensive linemen. Talk about that. I mean, obviously we don't get to see a lot of the guys, but there's always been a heavy rotation within the defensive front. What's that like as you're seeing early on here in fall camp?
Yeah, obviously we graduated a lot of seniors up front in the D-line who made a lot of plays for us for many years, guys like Eli Mostart, guys like Dylan Hendricks. And so we're going to have a much younger group on the D-line. We're going to have a much younger group on the defense in general this year, but I have a lot of confidence with the guys that we have in the room. I think a lot of guys have done a great job of stepping up kind of into a leadership role, looking up to this fall. Guys like Toby Anene, guys like Keenan Wilson, guys like Jaxon Duttenhefer. I think we have a really, really strong depth and a group of guys within that D-line. I'm excited for a few of them to really make a name for themselves this fall.
When you look at just the pride of, like you said, trying to repeat and having all that, and I'm sure the experience for a lot of those younger guys, seeing that up front, it can't hurt all going to this 2025 season, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's we always look ahead to next man up. If one guy goes down, who's going to be the next guy to step up? And I'm confident that defense, in the front seven, in the back, whoever it may be, I'm confident that we're going to have the depth that we need to have a successful season, and confident in the guys that are going to be wearing the green and gold for us.
There's a lot of, I guess, reloading going on as well as the offensive line, and we always say the old adage goes, cliche, iron sharpens iron. You seen that a little bit in spring ball and early on here in fall camp? Or?
Yeah, 100%. We got in the trenches, they're going at it every single day, and that's what we love to see. They're making each other better. It seems as if every year we lose guys up front in the O-line. How are we going to replace those guys? How are we going to replace Gray Zabel? How are we going to replace Jalen Sundell or Cody Malk or Cordell Wilson? It's been going on since I got here, but each and every year we have guys step up to the opportunity, make a name for themselves, and there's no doubt in my mind we're going to have some young guys on the O-line do that same exact thing, that by the end of this season, their name is going to be very, very well known.
I might as well ask you, too, because this place has been a buzz about Cam Miller, and, one of the leaders last year, along with you as a junior leader, too. But a lot of those guys you just mentioned are in the league right now. It's got to be crazy to see, right, to see them get all these accolades and getting their shot. It's got to be fun, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys, that's just kind of part of the pride that you have within this program, that so many people are going to the league. It's kind of crazy at this level of football.
Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, last night the Seahawks were playing the Raiders, so we had 3 representatives there. We had Cam, we had Gray, we had Jaylen, and it's not uncommon. We see it every year. We see guys from NDSU, some of our best friends, go on and continue to live out their dream, and that's just so special, and it shows just the success of the culture and the program and the coaches and the work ethic here at NDSU, that it doesn't matter what school you're at, that if you create the talent, if you put in the work, that you will the sky's the limit.
What do you think of final thing for you, the depth going in? Obviously, you guys, I thought, was interesting because 2 years ago I thought you guys were really hit by the injury bug. It popped up again a little bit last year, but, man, guys really stepped up. And you see that with some of these young guys? I mean, we might hear from some guys that we never heard of from before. That's just kind of the nature of the beast, right? So.
Yeah, it seems like every single year guys are going to go down. Injuries are going to happen. It's part of the game. But as I mentioned earlier, next man up mentality. It's the importance of having depth. That's the importance of having strength and conditioning. That's just such a strong part of our program and our culture here at NDSU. And I think that's what leads us to success, is that we're not putting all our eggs into one basket, into one guy. So no, it's like if this guy goes down, we have 3 more guys who can step up to the opportunity and still compete at the highest level at the standard. And so we do a good job of repping everybody, repping the seniors, repping the true freshmen, getting everybody prepared for if their name gets called on a Saturday.
Okay, I lied one more thing, because I do think this is kind of important, because you lost a handful of guys. Obviously, the transfer portal is affecting everyone all over the country, no matter what level of football. I mean, it can be a Big Ten school, an SEC school, but for a majority, guys are back. And I mean, you mentioned you came up here as a true freshman, green, and now you're one of the senior guys wearing green. How much does it mean to you to be able to finish out your career here?
Yeah, it's amazing, especially with with what college football is like. There's not many teams that stick together in the same way that NDSU has in my 5 years here. I mean, I have a great group of guys who I came in with as true freshmen, who I'm going to walk out with as seniors, guys in my class. And there's not many people around college football that can say that, unfortunately, in today's day and age. And so I'm just thankful that we have such a tight-knit group, that we have such a great brotherhood in this locker room. And that's carried us a long way already, and I know it's going to do the same for this upcoming season.
Well, I think the names you mentioned, I think you could probably hear the grass isn't always greener, and I think a lot of people you probably hear from that who maybe made that decision that regret it, right? I mean, that probably comes in a factor for a lot of these guys why they stay, right?
Yeah, you nailed it. The grass is not always greener. I think a lot of guys don't realize until they leave this place how grateful and how awesome an opportunity it is to play football at NDSU, and it doesn't always turn out. It's worked out well for some guys, not as well for other guys, but I know there's many out there who have have regretted decisions of either not pushing through and finishing their career here, transferring, whatever the case may be. I know there's been a lot of regret, and so it makes me a lot more thankful for what I do have here at NDSU.
Well, good luck this season. I'm sure I'll catch up with you down the road during the regular season. It's been a pleasure to watch you, and good luck here coming up against one game at a time, right, against the Citadel. So, right?
That's right. Thank you, Derek.
Again, Logan Kopp.
Well, Derek Hanson here with Jaylen Duffie, a cornerback for the NDSU Bison, and you're the first underclassman I've talked to so far, so I'm really anxious. Really a nice breakthrough year for you. You got dinged up in the middle of it, finished up strong. I'm sure you're anxious to get back on the field, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. I've been going hard at it this offseason, trying to get as strong as I can, as heavy as I can, so when the season does come, I'm not missing games and stuff like that due to injuries. I want to go out this season and have a full season and show everyone what we can do.
Things happen, though. I mean, and I think what I really noticed from the defense compared to a couple of years ago where they just weren't able to overcome some of it. You guys were able to overcome a lot of injuries up and down the line, both sides of the ball. I think that was probably the story of the 2024 Bison, right?
Yep, I'd say so for sure. We have a lot of young guys that can come in and play as well. Like we have a lot of 2s and 3s, guys that know what they're doing, that can get in there and play as well and get the same amount of stuff that a first-year guy, like an older guy would do on the field. So I just probably say like the depth in the corner room and just as a team overall, like we usually deal with injuries pretty well.
It seems like, and I think we talked about this a little bit last year, like Coach Olson's defense, it kind of fits to what you want to do, right? You want to get up, be a little physical, and say safe to say.
Yeah, play physical, fast, and tough. That's what we harp on all day. Being cold green, that's what you got to do. You got to have effort. You got to play with physicality. You got to be tough. You can't be out there just getting pushed around and stuff like that.
How good does it? Practices. Those wide receivers you got to face. You're not going to face in a game a better amount of wide receivers than what you face in practice, right?
Yes, sir. the receivers, they give us their all every day, and we give them our all every day. We've been battling ever since we really started fall camp. I'd probably say even go back to spring ball, like it really started then. Like we've always been going at it. There's always competition between the receivers and corners and safeties and all that stuff. So.
Just talk about, I can't believe how many guys return. This day and age of college football, you don't know. There's revolving doors everywhere at every level of football. You guys, for the most part, I'd say, 98% of the guys are back. That's pretty impressive. And I'm sure, I guess it's one of these things where you don't always know what you're going to get into another situation where things are pretty good here.
Facts, yeah. I definitely say it's just the culture we build here and the standard that's been laid out for us, and all the younger guys see that, and they just want to keep elevating the standard each year.
Is that part of the pressure, too? Because you get the national championship, you kind of get the monkey off their back, knocking the Jacks off the hill there. Now you got to stay on the hill, too.
Right, yeah. I think, like Coach P talks about, like, we go into every game thinking every team's looking to play us like it's their national championship. So we just have to keep going out, play hard, physical, and tough, and
well, I'm guessing that's the big thing going into this game. Everyone's expecting you on the road to take care of business, but like you said, the Citadel's looking at you like the an NFL team's coming in essentially. And it would make a big statement if they could do something. I'm sure that you don't want to take anyone for granted that way, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. We're just going in there to do our job, compete.
Well, it's hard to believe it. Did you realize it gets this humid up here, by the way?
To be honest, I didn't. Last year, I didn't think it was that humid, but I don't know. It's been a little humid up here, especially with all the storms and stuff we've been having.
Yeah. Well, certainly it's affecting a big guy like me for sure. Well, good luck. I will catch up with you down the road, and good luck. Just a couple weeks away, and you'll be at it. So.
Sir, sounds good. Thank you.
Again, Bison cornerback Jaylen Duffie, linebacker, captain, senior Logan Kopp right before him. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here. Heard it here with Swanny. Derek Hanson filling in here on week 0. Bison at the Citadel a week from today. Again, want to thank Northwest Tire, Smith Motors of Wapaton, and Peterman Seats or Holly for making this show happen.